Welcome to the Admin Study Room. If you've got the MD-102 exam on your radar, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to get straight to the point and focus on those foundational concepts of modern endpoint management, the stuff you absolutely need to know. Let's dive right in.
First things first, just a quick but really important heads up. This is an independent, unofficial MD-102 study presentation based on Microsoft's public learn content and run by AI hosts. It is not affiliated with, authorized, sponsored, or approved by Microsoft. Always verify important details against the latest Microsoft documentation, okay? So think of us as your study buddy, not the official manual. Now, let's see what's on the docket.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with the modern endpoint, then walk through its entire life cycle. After that, we'll check out some Windows tools and then make the big jump from on-prem Active Directory over to Microsoft Entra ID. We'll wrap it all up with a look at managing identities. It's kind of like the whole administrator journey, just in a nutshell.
So what do we even mean when we say modern endpoint? You can just toss out that old image of a big desktop computer chained to a desk. The modern endpoint, well, it's that laptop at the coffee shop, it's a tablet in the field, it's a phone on the go. It's just the new reality of how we all get work done now.
And this right here is the game changer. In the old days, to manage a device, it had to be physically plugged into the company network. Modern management completely flips that on its head. It uses cloud services, think Microsoft Intune, to keep devices secure and up to date no matter where they are. Home, office, that coffee shop, it doesn't matter. You get all this amazing flexibility without giving up an ounce of security or control.
Every single device in your company, from a laptop to a phone, goes through a pretty predictable journey. And if you want to manage your whole fleet well, you've got to understand this life cycle.
The easiest way to think about it is like you're managing a fleet of company cars, right? First, you got to plan out what kind of cars you need and then go buy them. That's stage one. Then comes deployment. You get them all prepped and hand the keys to your employees. Stage 3 is just all the day-to-day maintenance, oil changes, software updates, security checks. And finally, after a good run, you retire the old cars and you start the whole cycle over. Every corporate device follows these exact same 4 steps.
Okay, so before you can deploy a single machine, you have to make a really critical choice. Which operating system are you going to use? This decision is basically the blueprint for your entire environment. For most businesses, it really comes down to a choice between Windows Pro and Windows Enterprise. Now, Pro is great, it's very capable, but Enterprise, that's where you unlock some seriously advanced security features. For example, a feature called Credential Guard. It basically tucks user credentials away in a secure, virtualized bubble, which makes it way harder for malware to snatch them. And that's the kind of decision you'll be making, matching the right features to your company's security needs.
And of course, that powerful OS needs a decent place to run. Knowing these minimum hardware requirements is, well, it's not optional. This ties directly back to that very first stage of the life cycle we talked about, planning and purchasing. You simply can't deploy Windows if your hardware can't handle it.
All right, get ready, because this is one of the biggest changes in modern IT, period. We're essentially moving our company's headquarters for identity from a server rack in the basement to the global cloud. It's a huge shift. And this is the new HQ, Microsoft Entra ID. At its core, it's the directory service built for the cloud. It's the service that asks, who are you, when a user tries to log in to Microsoft 365 or Salesforce or countless other cloud apps. Think of it as the bouncer at the front door of your entire digital workspace. This comparison really lays it all out. Traditional Active Directory, it's like the security desk inside a single office building. It's fantastic at managing access to stuff inside that building, like your local printers and file shares. But Microsoft Entra ID, that's like a global access pass. It was born in the cloud to manage access to resources all over the internet, using modern web-friendly authentication.
Now, not all Entra ID is created equal. The free version is fine for basics, but the real magic happens with the P1 and P2 licenses. P1 gets you something called conditional access, which lets you create these powerful if-then rules. Like, if a user is signing in from a weird location, then you'd better make them use multi-factor authentication. P2 goes even further, with AI-powered tools like identity protection, which can spot and even block risky sign-ins automatically, like if someone tries to log in from New York and Tokyo at the same time.
So we have our cloud infrastructure set up. Fantastic. Now it's time to talk about the people, how we actually manage the user identities that are going to live there. The big idea here, the golden rule, is least privilege. And we enforce that using role-based access control, or RBAC.
So instead of making everyone a global admin with the keys to the entire kingdom, you give them specific roles, like help desk administrator. That gives them just enough power to do their job and absolutely nothing more. And by putting users into groups, we can apply these roles to lots of people all at once. It's all about efficiency and security.
Now I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that's a lot of code, but don't let it intimidate you. The web portal is great for one-off tasks, but in the real world, you need to automate, and that means PowerShell. All this command is doing is telling the system to create a new user, new MG user, giving them a display name of Alex W, and setting up their login name. This is how you go from managing one user to managing thousands without losing your mind.
Let's be real, most companies don't just flip a switch and move to the cloud overnight. It's a journey, and to manage that journey, we have a critical tool called Microsoft Entra Connect. Think of it like a bridge connecting your old on-prem servers to the new cloud world. It syncs up your user accounts from your local Active Directory to Entra ID. The result? Users get one password for everything, and you get a smooth, seamless hybrid identity.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from the physical hardware all the way up to a user's identity in the cloud. So let's take a breath and boil this all down to what really matters.
This really hits the nail on the head. Your job as an admin is changing. It's becoming less about the specific machine and more about the user's identity. That identity is the new security perimeter. Protecting it, wherever and however it's used, is the whole ballgame.
And that brings us to our final thought. The real challenge and the real skill of a modern admin isn't just knowing what these tools do in isolation. It's about understanding how they all connect, the device lifecycle, the operating system, the hybrid identity, and using them to build an environment that's totally seamless for your users and rock-solid secure for your organization. That's the puzzle for you to solve.